So we are in a series right now called Friends, where we're really examining what friendship really looks like. And 2 weeks ago, I had an opportunity to really start this series off by talking about who we are. You know, are you the person you're looking for is looking for? We talked about this fantasy world that we've all bought into, that if you find the right person, that your life will be perfect, that everything will be just fine. We've realized that is a myth. It's not about finding the right person. It's truly about becoming the right person. Last week, we talked about how we can share the gospel with our friends. How important it is to talk about the truth and the love of God with our friends. If you're truly a friend, you will consider the well-being of eternity for those people. If you know who God is, and you hesitate and you stop sharing the love of God, the gospel, with your friends, are you really their friend at all? If you're okay with them spending eternity separated from God, are you okay with that? Because it makes you comfortable knowing that your friendship is secure and you guys are tight? Tonight, I'm going to talk about this chaos, the emotional dwelling that we have within each of us when it comes to relationships. How many of you, when it comes to relationships, could be boyfriend, girlfriend, could be just friends, your parents, emotions, how many of you would say that your emotions are kind of like a roller coaster? You're kind of all over the place sometimes. I know that I am. Sometimes I'm like on this high, man, life is great. Sometimes I'm in this low of where, man, how could anything else go wrong? And yet it does. Sometimes I'm confused. Sometimes I'm annoyed. I see all these statuses on Facebook all the time of, oh, I'm annoyed. Oh, I'm frustrated. This person is depressed. This person is, it just constantly changes. We're constantly on this roller coaster of our emotions. And it gets confusing, doesn't it, of where we all are? And so we're in the series Friends, and so we've all seen the TV show, or maybe most of us have, of Friends back in the day when I was young. You guys are watching it on, I don't know what now, Nick at Night or something, I don't know. Maybe. But we're going to watch a scene. We're going to watch a scene from the sitcom that's about 2-3 minutes long. And for those of you that can't hear, I found this clip. It has subtitles in English and Japanese, just in case I couldn't find any other. So, but I want you guys to take a look at this and see how relationships can be very confusing. Take a look.
No, we saw them fornicating. Okay, so now they know you know, and they don't know that Rachel knows?
Yes, but you know what? It doesn't matter who knows what. Now, enough of us know that we could just tell them we know. Now, the lying and the secrets will finally be over.
Or we could not tell them we know and have a little fun of our own.
What do you mean?
Well, you know, every time that they say they're like doing laundry, we'll just give them a bunch of laundry to do. Like,
Oh, I would enjoy that.
Joey. Yeah. Phoebe knows about us.
Well, I didn't tell them.
them? Who's them?
Phoebe and Joey.
Joey?
And Rachel.
I would have told you, but they made me promise not to tell.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry. But hey, it's over now, right? Because you can tell them you know they know, and I can go back to knowing absolutely nothing.
Unless.
No, not unless. Look, this must end now.
Oh, man, they think they are so slick messing with us. But see, they don't know that we know that they know. So.
Ah, yes. The messers become the messies.
Come on, you guys. Think how much fun it would be to tell.
We know, we know, we know.
What?
She's right here.
It's Chandler.
Oh?
Hello, you.
Hello, Phoebe. I've been thinking about you all day.
Huh?
Well, you know that thing you said before, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't intrigued.
Really?
Yeah, listen, Joey's not going to be here tonight, so why don't you come over and I'll let you feel my bicep. Or maybe more.
I'll have to get back to you on that. Okay, bye. Oh my God, he wants me to come over and feel his bicep and more.
Are you kidding? No, I cannot believe he would do that to my...
Joey, do they know that we know?
No,
Joey?
they know you know.
Oh, I knew it!
I would say, thank God, everybody knows it's finally over, but that hasn't been working for me.
Oh, I cannot believe those two.
They thought that they could mess with us? They're trying to mess with us? They don't know that we know they know we know. And Joey, you can't say anything.
Couldn't if I wanted to.
Are relationships confusing like that sometimes? It's just, they can be. Relationships can be confusing. And today, what I want us to really talk about is this thing of relationships and how really they can be simple. They really can be simple if we're willing to be a little courageous and if we're willing to have a little humility. Back in 1955, there were two psychologists that decided to create this thing called the Johari window. It was really an experiment to understand who we are, how we act, how we communicate with other people. And so I want to show you guys this little picture of the Johari window. It's separated into 4 different categories. It's just 4 boxes. I believe we have it. Okay, this top left one is the open field. This is what you know about yourself and what others know about you as well. They either see it in you or you have communicated it to them. The one to the right of that is things that you don't know about you, but others see in you. You don't know this about you. You may not see that maybe you're thinking about yourself a lot. You may not see some of these things about you, but others see it in you. The one below the open is the hidden box. This is where you know the things about you, but you keep it a secret from others. People don't know this about you, and you like it that way. Your fear, if people knew this about me, what would they think? What would they say? What would my parents do if they really knew that about me? And the bottom right-hand box is the unknown. The things about you that you don't even know about you and others don't see in you. The goal within this, according to these two psychologists, is that in order to make the top left box the biggest box of them all, you see, it can move. It can change shapes. The more you tell others about who you are, the whole middle line there begins to drop. Does that make sense? And you know more about yourself, while others know more about you. If you, and this is the hard part, if you ask others, what kind of friend am I? I want the honest truth. Don't worry about hurting my feelings. What kind of friend am I to you? Mom, Dad? How have I treated you this week? Please just tell me the truth. I want to know so I can improve who I am. That box begins to grow. Now, I want you to put up the next slide, if we have, of the Johari window. It's the same thing, but it shows you guys what it can look like. The more you ask of others, hey, what do you see in me? That first box begins to open and you get feedback from the people. The trouble with this feedback part is you have to be willing to listen and not interrupt and try to make excuses for all these things. Well, here, let me tell you about what I see in you. I kind of see that you're a little prideful. Well, that's because, and I have these, and I have, no. Like, that's not the point of this exercise. The point is to just say, hey, what do you see in me? Sit down, shut your mouth, open your ears, and listen. But ask the people you know are going to be truthful and loving. And as you can see, the more you tell about others, the self-disclosure. Every time we have a testimony, you're finding new things out about these people. When Daniel shared, there are some things that he shared tonight that I did not know about him. Now I know Daniel a little bit better than I did 20 minutes ago. Does this make sense? This is what's called the Johari window. Now, within the business world, the corporate world, they kind of change this up a little bit, but it's the same idea. It's called the 360-degree feedback survey. They have a couple of terms for it, but the 360, we're done with that for now. You guys can take that off. Basically what it is you write a list of questions about yourself, and you email it, or you hand it out in a hard copy form to other coworkers. And you ask them the hard questions about who you are. It's really an opportunity to grow who you are by asking those hard questions. And they give it back to you, and you can't respond. You can't say anything about it. Now, I thought this was very interesting when I found out about it, so I did that. But I didn't do it with the coworkers that I have here on staff at the church. I sent out a little Facebook thing to our leaders here in United, and I asked them, hey, please be totally honest. It's going to be anonymous. Your responses, I'm not going to be able to know who said what, so please be honest. How am I doing as a leader of United Student Ministries? How are my communication skills? Am I empowering other people, or am I doing it all myself? Please tell me, because I want to improve as a person, as a pastor, as the leader of United Student Ministries. I want to improve. So I sent this out. Now, to do that, do you think it took a little bit of courage on my part to know that I could get some negative feedback? It takes a little bit of humility to be able to say, hey, look, boy, I didn't see that one. But if they're saying it, I guess it's true. And it becomes a little bit more clear of who we are, and I'm increasing that box. The thing that neither of these are taking into account is what God says about you. The scripture is full of verses that talk about what God says about you, who you are, that you are made in his image, as Daniel pointed out, that you are a masterpiece. There is tons and tons and tons of information about who you are in the eyes of God. And yet, what do? We close our ears and we refuse to listen to that because we have been fed lies so much that we believe the lies. We're listening to the wrong people. This 360-degree feedback survey, I found out, is the number one, let me back up. The number one killer of jobs, this is so fascinating, the number one killer for jobs, like, so you're in the workplace and you get fired or you get laid off, okay, the number one killer, the inability to understand the emotional needs of coworkers and yourself. Just think about that for a second. That's the number one reason that people get laid off from the jobs. The inability to think about others' needs, their emotional needs. Think about it just for a second. All the customers that you have each day, if you're totally just thinking, oh, you are so rude, and then you're rude back, if you are not considerate and thinking about their day, their experience, can you imagine how your words and your tone could be perceived that way? Let me give you guys a quick story. When I was going to Clark College, this was, I don't know, maybe 5-6 years ago when this happened. I was in the military, and I could collect a check because I was in the military for going to school. I collected money, and they helped me pay for school. Well, I went to go to the finance office to go pick up my check, and this woman at the counter told me, it's not here, you never submitted it, next. I mean, it was quick, it was stern, it was honestly pretty rude. And I was frustrated. I was there because if I did not collect the check that day, I was informed that it was going to be gone and I couldn't pick it up ever. Like they would shred it and be done. And we're talking like $700-800 worth. It's kind of a big thing, right? So I felt as though she was rude. My emotions got all mixed up. And what did I do? I reacted in the same way that she was reacting to me. And I said this, are you heartless? Are you serious right now? You're not going to even look in the computer system? Are you heartless? Pretty rude, right? This woman began to cry and ran to the back. I was only caring about myself, and I have no idea what I did to that girl. I was a pastor when I said that. Please don't think for a moment that because I stand here and hold a microphone, or because I've gone to Bible college, that I'm sinless, that I'm free of any guilt or shame. I make mistakes all the time, just like each and every one of us in here. There's something in you and there's something in me that says, I just don't know how to act in this situation. And so what do we listen to? We just listen to our emotions instead of what God really tells us to do. The next day, I called Clark College and I asked to speak with that person. She wasn't there, but I told the supervisor what I said, what happened, and I asked her to please tell her that I'm very sorry. But still to this day, 5 years later, 6 years later, I don't remember, I still remember saying that one thing. Can you recall a moment in your life that you said something so devastating that caused that person to cry? Can you think of the hurtful things that you've said or have done to others that have caused them to think less about themselves? It's kind of hard to think about that, isn't it? We don't want to think about it. We just kind of hide it, put it under the rug, and say, well, I'm just going to continue with my life. It's done with. You see, I have a ton of paperwork on my desk right now. I'm so scattered right now, I don't even know what to think. But I have, if you look into my office, I have paperwork all over the place. None of it's really making sense to me. I could easily just scrape it all off and have a clean desk. I could do that, couldn't I? I could just be like, whoosh. Everything's better. Dang. I could just look and I could see this mess that now I have to go through it. We just think that we can just wipe it all clean and all the things that I said and all the things that I've done, just, it's all gone. And yet, no, it's not. You need to take it thing by thing by thing, one at a time, and address it. I was thinking about all these things, about asking other people and not getting the response that we really want. And I thought about a relationship, Cain and Abel. Go ahead and turn to your Bibles right now in Genesis chapter 4. Cain and Abel, we're going to start in verse 2. We're going to put up on the screen here for you guys. I'm going to tell you guys to pause, so don't go to all of it. But let's go ahead and read some of this together, okay? Let's go ahead and put it up on the screen for me. Let's see here. And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of the flock and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering. But unto Cain and to his offering he had no respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And the Lord said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. And Cain talked with Abel his brother. And it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother, and slew him. And the Lord said unto Abel, Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? Now, I'm going to read some of this. We're going to talk through some of this. And while I'm doing that, if you guys up top, if you can go ahead and put that up, the NIV or the NLT, so we can understand it, would be awesome. For me, I don't know about you guys, are probably much smarter than me. I had a hard time with that. Some words I haven't used in years. But I want you guys to notice just a few things here. I'm going to read this. So Cain and Abel both bring an offering to God. One of the offerings is accepted, the other offering not accepted. And what happens? The Lord said to Cain, Why are you angry? It's an emotion, right? Anger is an emotion. Okay, man, I'm giving you this offering, God, and it's not accepted. I'm mad. Why is your face downcast? If you do what is right, listen, these are God's words to us. Listen very carefully. These are probably the most powerful words that you could hear all night. So if you're sitting next to a friend, if you're on the phone, I'm going to ask you to look up. Each and every one of us. Listen to these words right now and hold these to be true within your life. Listen to this. If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must master it. If you do what is right, I will accept you. If you do wrong, you're going to go into the bad direction. Bad things are going to start happening. It's kind of like this, you do good. You guys have rules at home, right? No. You're like, no, I don't. I do what I want, okay? I have rules in my home for my son Malachi. I have rules for the home. If you follow those rules, life is peachy. Life is good. Everyone's happy. You go against the rules, you disobey the rules, what happens? There are consequences for those things. It's natural. If you decide to go into a store and pay for something and walk out, life is peachy. You bought something, it's yours. You go to a store, I want this. I'm not going to pay. You take it and go. Life just got bad. You will not have consequences for what you have just done. Everyone following so far? Fantastic. I want you guys to look at this next verse here. Verse 8. Now Cain said to his, hold on, back off. God said this to Cain. What did Cain do? Didn't even acknowledge God talking. I want you to just keep that in point. God didn't even acknowledge, Cain didn't even acknowledge God. Don't we do that? God's talking to you. He's yelling out to you, saying, stop, don't do that. You got to stop, what are you doing? And yet we're like, we plug our ears and we keep walking because we want to do what we want to do. We all do this. And keep listening here. Now Cain said to his brother Abel, let's go out to the field. And while they were in the field, Cain attacked his brother Abel and killed him. Now, I'm not suggesting that any of you are going to take your brother out to a field and slaughter them, okay? I'm not suggesting that. Allie, maybe, okay? But I'm not suggesting do that. But this is what I am suggesting. That each and every one of us do kill relationships. You may not kill someone physically, but you kill relationships emotionally. If you don't master your emotions will master you. I like that. If you don't master your emotions will master you. You see, there's no temptation within your life that becomes sin without you allowing it to be. Cain was tempted to kill his brother, to get all the glory, to bring it back on him, and yet that could not have come to pass if he didn't act on it. We give permission for sin to act in our life. Do you guys know that? We give sin permission to come into our life and say, take control. We have these thoughts. We think they're no big deal. It's just a thought. I want something really bad to happen to my brother. Please, 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 please. Like we have these thoughts. Man, why is that promotion not given to me? I really, really, really want something bad to happen to her so I can go with him to the prom. Okay? Yeah, okay? What are the things that you're thinking that you know are just wrong? There's this poem that I found that I thought was kind of cool. I want to show you guys. I want to read it to you. If you sow a thought, you reap an action. You sow an action, you reap a habit. You sow a habit, you reap your character. You sow your character, you reap your destiny. It begins with your thoughts. If your thoughts are leading you to do something that you know is wrong, that you know is a bad habit, that you know really just doesn't build up anybody but yourself, and maybe not even that, you're really going down a trail, and you're going to look back and you're going to be filled with anger towards God. How many of you have heard of General Electric? Anybody here? Okay, not many. General Electric, pretty big company. We're talking multi-million, probably billion-dollar company. And the CEO, Jack Welch, tells us this. I believe I have it on the screen. The true test of self-confidence is the courage to be open. If you really want to have a relationship that's worth having, have the courage to be open. Have the courage to be humble. Have the courage to do what no one else is doing, to be a rebel. Because I'll tell you right now, it's easy, it's normal, it's natural to be sinful and to go with the world. It is easier today than it ever has been before to go down a path that is in the opposite direction of the way that God originally saw. Let's just be real for a second here. Well, I've been real all night with you guys. If you're not real with your friends, how do you expect them to be real with you? And if you're not real with them, and they're not real with you, what kind of friendship is that? We live our lives trying to impress people so much that we're willing to become somebody that we're really not. I'm reading a book right now, kind of a humbling experience for me. Every Young Woman's Battle. How many of you have heard of that book or read that book? How many of you are wondering why I'm reading that book? Okay. I want right now to understand girls more than I've ever understood before. My wife is 7 months pregnant, and we're going to be, well, not we, she will be giving birth. Thankfully, she will be giving birth to our baby girl. And I want to know what the temptations that she's going to be having within her life. I want to know her battles. And I want her to be honest with me. Are you honest with your parents? I can tell you right now, as a parent, and as a parent to be, I want my kids to be honest with me. I can't help them if they're not willing to be truthful with me. And my courage to you is to ask this question to your friends and to your family. Listen up. What's it like to be on the other side of me? What kind of person am I? What kind of person am I? You may not like the responses that you get. You may be thrilled with the responses that you get. I'm going to ask the worship band to come on up here, and we're going to sing a song because I want us to truly, more than anything, know the heart of God. I want him to become closer to you. Let me rephrase that. I want you to become closer to him than you've ever been before. I have spoken way too long tonight. I want to leave you guys with this one verse. It's a verse that I have a hard time with. David wrote a lot of the Psalms. And I was going through Psalms today as my life is kind of in this roller coaster. I'm kind of in this like pit. I don't really know what to do with my emotions. I don't really know what to do with my thoughts. And I saw this verse, and I did not like my answer. I don't think I could ever ask this question to God. David had the courage to do so, though. Psalm 26:2. Test me, O Lord, and try me. Examine my heart and my mind. Are you confident enough with your walk in Jesus, your friendship with others, that you can ask God to examine your heart and your mind and see if you don't see anything wicked? Because I got to tell you guys, my heart and my mind are full of evil thoughts, evil desires, unknowns, and it confuses me. I really just don't know what to do with it sometimes. So my prayer is this, that we not just ask others, who do you see in me? But that we come before God and say, God, examine my heart tonight and reveal to me who I really am. Not what others say about me, not what Satan even says about me. Who do you say that I am, God? You guys are going to be full of distractions throughout your walk, throughout your day. Even now, people texting you. It's easy to look at Facebook and pictures. It's easy to keep your face down Tell you what, you keep your face down in a phone, it's all you have. But if you keep your head up and you look towards God, that's what you'll get. God. So Father, we come before you tonight knowing that we are full of sin, knowing that we don't really know how to handle our emotions, how to handle relationships, our friends. God, so often we're just fake. We're not even true to ourselves. Sometimes we even try to fake you out. That's a pointless thing to do. You know what's better than anyone ever has and ever will. And we try to fake you out by presenting false statements. We don't really sing from our heart. We read while we're thinking of this boy or this girl. We come to church just to communicate with other people and chat on our phone. God, we are missing the point. Reveal to us, Lord, your truth. Reveal to us your heart. Allow us to become closer to you than we've ever been before. I pray this not just for the students here. I pray this for our leaders. I pray this for myself. I pray this for every pastor on staff and everybody in that building. God, I pray this for the people in our schools. I pray this for our families. God, reveal to us your heart. Allow us to become closer to you than we've ever been before. God, when I say that I love you, I want to mean it. Not just with my words, but with my actions. We love you. We pray these things in your name.